Thank you, Phil. Hiring Phil Progosky was not a lapse at all. In the years that he's been on the faculty at the Thomas Cooley Law School, I think he's won the most beloved professor prize more than anybody else. So he's one of the stars here. I was delighted, Phil, that you mentioned Polly being here and her role in the law school. If I look nice today, it's because of her. She dresses me. First and foremost, I want to express my personal thanks and those of all the panel members to President Don LeDuc for his generous and enthusiastic commitment to this program. Under his leadership, Cooley Law School has become, as Phil said, the largest accredited school of law in the United States, if not in the world. But Don has not been satisfied to measure success only by size. He's built the reputation of Cooley on every score, from academics to ethics to professional formation and to community service. It was Don's suggestion that this symposium be held as the law school's compliance with federal law requiring observance of Constitution Day. And it is indeed fitting and proper that what we're doing here today commemorates the signing of the United States Constitution in Philadelphia on September 17th, 1787. You know, I never returned to this campus without suffering a rash of goosebumps as I look around at the vibrant activity of so many students and faculty, and I think of the puny and fragile beginning of this great institution. Recently, Jack Cote sent me a copy of a photograph of the original board of directors taken on the opening day of the first class in 1973. Only 3 of those men are still living. I look at that picture and I remember how we shared a vision. It was a vision of a law school that would offer the American dream of opportunity to every qualified college graduate who wanted to knock on the door of the legal profession and who was willing to work hard to achieve the level of professional competence that we insisted on. Over the years, Cooley has done that, and it has done much, much more. It has become the place where the obfuscation of redundant legalese has been replaced by plain English. It has become the place where ponderous academic legal theories are weighed on the scales of practical common sense. And it has become the place where the reliable moral compasses of faith and family contributes to a standard of professional ethics that knows the difference between right and wrong. From the beginning, we emphasized respect for tradition and history. That's why the semesters here are named for the terms of the English courts of common law. And that's why Cooley, Campbell, Christensen, and Graves are pictured on the side of this building. And that's why this symposium, with its theme of renewing the compact, belongs in this temple and on this campus. If you'll bear with me just a minute, maybe I can tell you why. You may know that Cooley Law School educates more black lawyers than any other law school, including the historically Negro colleges. You may not know that this has been done without any racial preference in admissions, without the controversial affirmative action programs used by some other law schools. And people ask me, how's that possible? I say it's easy. All you have to do is admit a lot of Italians from New Jersey, too. The point is very simple and obvious. If you open the front door wide enough to let in a cross-section of the community, you get students of every race, color, and creed. And if your student body looks and acts and thinks like a cross-section of the people of the United States, then you become a microcosm of the nation, a community that reflects the attitudes, the hopes, the fears, the aspirations, and the strength of the American people. The first words of the preamble to the federal Constitution are, "We the people." It doesn't say, "We the geniuses," or we the gifted, or we the published scholars. The Constitution is the compact between the people and their government. It is the solemn written document that expresses the consent of the governed and empowers the people who are elected and appointed to public office to do what they are elected and appointed to do. It's a solemn written document that expresses the intention of the people who drafted it and the intention of the people who ratified it. It is a solemn written document that says what it means and means what it says. It was, and it was intended to be, addressed to every citizen, expressed, as one delegate said, in the plain language of mankind. Now, if you've studied under Professor Joe Kimball, you know that contracts and statutes and constitutions can be written, should be written, in plain English. A newspaper called the Philadelphia Packet published the complete text of the Constitution within a few days after the convention adjourned in 1787, and so did newspapers throughout the 13 original states. People talked about it, they argued about it. You know, we tend to romanticize the Constitution. We like to think that it was celebrated and embraced by all the people in all of the original 13 states. But that's not the way it was. There was a lot of opposition. As a matter of fact, it never would have been ratified if it had not been for the built-in process of amendment contained in Article 5. In state after state, the promise of immediate amendment to include a Bill of Rights was necessary to preserve, to get convention delegates to vote in favor of ratification. In state after state, the fact that the new Constitution would be easier to amend than the old Articles of Confederation was the most telling argument for ratification. We've come here today to talk about Article 5. We've come here to consider how Article 5 empowers the people of all the states to draft, to debate, to propose, and to adopt amendments to the federal Constitution. We know that the Congress can propose amendments. They've done it at least 28 times in the last 200 years. But Article 5 also provides for calling a convention to propose amendments. That's never been done. The amendatory convention was put in Article 5 because some of the founders of our nation were afraid that the Congress would become too powerful, too uncontrolled, too out of touch with the American people to propose the kind of amendments which would be needed. The Article 5 convention, then, is a vital and a critical part of our Constitution. It is the open door through which every generation can enter into the compact and express the consent of the governed. That compact, that written agreement between the people and their government, was unique in the history of mankind. Alexander Hamilton said that the people of this country had to decide the important question whether societies of men are really capable or not of establishing good government from reflection and choice, or whether they are forever destined to depend for their constitutions on accident and force. The founders knew that throughout human history, most governments had been established by a process of usurpation and acquiescence, that the consent of the governed is most often given by passive acceptance of domination, and that ruthless bullies and dictators usually come to power through fear and manipulation. The Declaration of Independence reminds us that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they have become accustomed. And we know that law-abiding, peace-loving men and women usually don't want to get involved. They don't want to make waves. They don't want to have trouble. We call them the silent majority. But it was a silent majority in Germany that empowered Adolf Hitler, and a silent majority in Russia that empowered Joseph Stalin. Silent majorities in Italy and Cuba and Venezuela and Iraq have been the consent of the governed for dictators. I don't think that's going to happen in the United States of America. You know, there's a lot of noise around the country today. You heard some of the references to it in the other speakers. A lot of people are echoing the famous words of Howard Beale in the movie Network. If you remember him looking out the window, shouting, waving his arms. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it any longer.